Hey, hi-ho, Lions fans. Welcome to the Detroit Lions podcast. This is episode 507, the New Orleans Saints post-game show. This is the official Detroit Lions podcast for Reddit. I am the dashing of dashing hosts, the dashingest of dashing hosts, Chris, and with me is my good friend and also dashing co-host, coiffed beard, Ash, the man Thompson. How you doing, brother?
Not too bad, man. How about you?
Good.
It's a beautiful day.
Lions
win.
Yeah. You feeling the Florida yet? Now that you're down here, you feeling the Florida man vibe?
Yeah, I'm feeling the vibe. My wife's driving back from the Keys as we speak with a key lime pie. So,
all right. So you're still new. You're still a little touristy.
yeah,
but it's good. Don't get me wrong. I would also come back
years,
with
man.
I would come back with a key lime pie as well because they're freaking awesome. Yep. All right, let's see. We got a big show today. A Lions victory, 9-3 Detroit Lions. That's a good record. That's a really good record. This is a little bit of a nervousy game, but at least it came out the right side. And we'll talk about, is it a get right game or is there still more getting to get? We'll also cover Coach Campbell's post-game presser. We'll do a roundtable discussion. Take your calls and a whole lot more. We got a great show lined up. Mr. Ash, sir, are you ready to go?
Let's get it on.
Let's kick this off and break it down.
I debated how long I was going to make you hold that, but I just...
Well, it was done either way, so... What is my voice doing there? It's got this weird flicker going on.
It was the vocal fry. Your vocal fry. Greg Olson, and I love his commercial, the Bradshaw commercial. I laugh every time, even though I've seen it a bunch. We got the Eagles and Niners game on in the background. I'm gonna ask you really quick about that one. As that one goes, and we'll keep tuned in on that. Who do we want to win? On one hand, you take second place if San Fran loses. Yep. If the Eagles lose, then you're closer, but you're in third place.
Well, I think we're going to lose more games than the Eagles this year.
Mm-hmm. I think so too.
Just that's my take on it. So I want them to beat San Francisco because we might not lose more games than the 49ers this year.
Yeah, I think that's...
And that second seed means you don't play the Eagles until the NFC Championship game, which means that they might have to beat the 49ers. There's a whole thing.
Yeah.
You know,
we got a good record, but they're not playing like a 9-win team. They're playing exactly like a 9-win team.
Yeah, they won 9 games. That's how this works. Bill Parcells, you are what your record says you are. That is exactly what you are.
Guy was saying Jerry Jacobs is not an NFL cornerback, and I'm like, it's an interesting. Well, I see him on my TV, and he's in a uniform. I mean, he's
used to be playing in the National Football League, from what I can tell. Yeah. Like, man, it just blows my mind. It's like people think that all of these other teams are just doing nothing but winning by 25 points every week. You know, like there's a reason the line was set at 4 points today. Like, Lions covered the spread. Did better than Vegas thought they were going to do.
Yeah.
Which, according to, I forget what betting site it was, but 90% of fans had bet on the Lions. So that's not good for them.
Here we go. Manti Barlow. You guys didn't say that about the Vikings record last year. No, because those were 50-50 games by less than 1 point. Those were all over the place. Yeah. This was a, how many point win was this? This was a very 8 point. What was it? 5 point? What? I don't even, I'll have to look. I got the thing up. I'll bring it up here in a second.
I forgot to actually bring it up. Okay. It was a 5 point win.
Yeah. 5 point win. So, I mean, it wasn't
less than a touchdown, more than a field goal.
Yeah. Yeah. It was what it was. I've got some feedback, or I got a video I want to play really quick. Some quick take from our coverage inside, what do they call it? Caesars Field, whatever that is up there in New Orleans. We'll get to that right now. Let's do it.
Live from the Lions game, Chris. Weird win. Glad to have it. Offensive line needs rag now real bad. We can't play like this against good teams, but look at the way the Lions fans have traveled. Lions fans are the best.
That's right. So big Big shout out to Lions fans that did it. I heard the chant multiple times on the TV.
Yep.
Go light up Bourbon Street, kids. Go have some fun.
And I couldn't hear any of that, so you might want to check at the end if you have to splice the video in or the audio in.
No, it was there. I saw it going out.
Okay. Good.
I'll see what I have to do to make that work. I know what I have to do to make that work. You'll hear it next time, I promise.
Just means I have to listen to it later.
Yeah. Lions fans traveled well. Good to see. Very, very good to see. A lot of talk here about the Vikings or the AG. Glad we won, but AG needs to be fired for the piss poor performance this defense has shown in the last 4 to 5 games. Agree. Still soft in the secondary.
Because the secondary still isn't good.
There's definitely, yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I love Jerry Jacobs, the human being, and he is an NFL cornerback.
Mm-hmm.
Could we get a better one? Yeah.
Not right now.
You know what I mean? But that it's not coming this year. He's what we got, and there are worse cornerbacks starting in the NFL than Jerry Jacobs. Like, that is 100% factual. Is it one of the spots where maybe I would like us to look at bringing in a really, really, really good player next year? Yes. But the thing is, like, I don't really blame AG per se for all of it. Like, there are things he is doing I don't love, because I think he's kind of falling into the Patricia trap of, like, this is the right solution, but I don't know if it's the solution that the guys he has with him, going on this journey, can particularly carry out, if that makes sense.
Yep. Oh man, I really that 20 going up 21 and then winning by 5. I saw it in the chat too. It was Steve-O. That is, I don't like that at all. I mean, and then the adjustments that the New Orleans made against the offense, and the offense not being able to counter adjust or recover. You got to be more than a one-trick pony in this league. And a lot of it came down to losing Frank. I mean, the pressure on Goff.
Oh yeah.
And just really quick, Goff.
The running game goes away.
What Goff did under pressure, though. Can we just give a quick tip of the fedora to his poise under pressure? He found some Stafford tier windows. He had some Stafford tier windows today that he threw that ball into. Very, very good game for him under duress.
Absolutely, 100%, man. Like, Goff today, 16 for 25, 213 yards, 2 TDs, no turnovers. You know what I mean? If he could do that every week, we'd all be just like screaming with joy.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And most weeks that is kind of what he does, but basically, like, when Ragnow went out, the running game with Montgomery just died, like completely died. They just couldn't get any push up the middle with Sorsdahl in there, because, like, I'm really looking forward to seeing what that guy looks like when he comes to camp next year, because he's got some weightlifting to do. Like, he does not. It's like the Hutch body last year times 10,000. You know what I mean? Like, it's just this layer of baby fat is the only reason he weighs what he weighs. Kid's got some work to do, man.
Yeah, I mean, William and Mary is not known for its workout plan.
No,
or the meal
nutrition.
Plan, the meal plan isn't quite.
The meal plan was probably like mac and cheese and ribs, if there was a meal plan.
Got a carb load before the game, food. Right? Remember the old days?
Yeah. I don't know if you guys in the US got the 4 food groups where you had to have carbs and dairy and protein and veggies with every
and grains.
Meal.
Grains. Like, moo. All right, so there we go. We had a game where we pulled out the win. I want to ask you, we needed a get right game after that Green Bay loss. We sat on that for a while. It felt like we came out and we're like, oh yeah, we're in get right mode. But the game, we wound up pulling out the dub, which is important, of course. But do you think this was a get right game for this team? Do you think this is what they needed to propel themselves towards a big surge at the end of the season?
I don't really feel like they need it as much as fans do. You know what I mean by that? Like the guys in the dressing
Fair enough.
room are just going to look at this and be like, hey, we beat an NFL football team by 5 points. Awesome. Whereas it's going to be fans on Twitter talking for the next week about how they didn't win enough. You know, like as though winning by 25 gets you like a W.5.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it would have been nice for all of us, but like the offense is what has cost this team. Like it's what lost the team the game last week with all those turnovers. Those went away. Offense scored 33 points. There we go. It'd be nice if the defense had done anything, but when you only draft or like dress 3 interior defensive linemen and one of them gets hurt in the second quarter, so you keep marching him out there and he gets hurt even worse, like that decision could, like if that costs us games of Aleem McNeil not playing because he had to go back in because they literally did not have another personnel on the roster to play his spot.
Yeah.
Like if that ends up costing him games, that might end up actually costing us losses. That's the thing in this game I am by far the most concerned about. Like as far as how many points they allowed or how many they scored, I don't care. They won the game. That's all that matters. They scored more than the guy across from them.
Yeah. No, that's
like realistically, like in the secondary, you know, that one catch Olave got off Brian Branch's tip, like that was a pick 6 if he didn't do that. So 2 guys playing super well ended up biting us. You know what I mean? Like the reason that comment about the Vikings is completely invalid is because the Lions have not had every single bounce go their way for this entire season. And that play is an example of that. Like this team is nothing like the Minnesota Vikings of last year, where there was always a fumble or a tipped pass or a something that happened that was just fluky and out of their control. And they got every single one of them and were never victimized by any of them. The Lions, that's not who they've been.
We got Kirk Morgan. If we don't get CJ and Houston back, we'll not win a playoff game. We're not going to get Houston back. I just talked to Dr. Liao. It just doesn't. For the rehab for that to be able to get the bend that he needs, and he had a great tweet about it with some real good, and even on the episode he did on our channel, the videos he had where the bend that he needs in those ankles, and it's just. He's not going to be back. CJGJ is going to be back, and we'll see him. That'll be great. That'll help the secondary a great deal. Lot of people having trouble, with the fan base. Look, the fan base is always. This is why I say love your wins and just ball drag anyone you can while you can, because. The Patriots had detractors in their fan base. Yeah, 3 Super Bowls, that's fine, but they'll never get another one. Belichick's got to go, right? I mean, it's just the nature of people. Half the world is, I don't say half the world, but a good portion of the world is trolls. And
we have people in our Slack chat that are just waiting for it to go badly for 35 seconds before they come in and they're like, look, see, I've been right the whole time. And then they just disappear when the team wins.
And and there's a guy on Twitter, like right at the end, I said, hey, we're doing a post-game show, join us. And he's like, post-loss show with a big boo thing. And I'm like, I responded, or I mean, it wasn't even over. I just said, you're premature again. It's like, come on,
probably been happening to him since birth.
Yeah, that's why he's angry. That's why he's angry. And so is his partners. He's had one. All right, we're watching for the post-game presser. As soon as that pops in, we'll have Coach Campbell and likely Jared Goff. That's usually who they toss up on the podium afterward, but we're keeping our eyes on him. Today, Goff, 16 completions, 213 yards, an 8.5 yard average. Again, the pocket presence was good. The line was not. It was difficult. It was difficult. So
it wasn't the offensive line's best day by any stretch of the imagination, but you got to get past that. Like you have to win games where you have backups in. It's always going to happen. Like if you think there's going to be a single playoff game that they play without a backup offensive lineman getting into the game, I don't know what you've been watching.
People talking about the draft. We haven't even started talking playoffs yet. Come on, guys.
Playoffs. I'm gonna talk about playoffs.
I mean, one more win pretty much ensures a playoff game, right? A wild card for sure, right? And that's that.
Yeah. So magic number's 3 for the division.
Yeah.
Right now, or I didn't see what happened with the Vikings? Did they play already, or are they playing now?
They're playing now.
I've been kind of laser focused on just what was happening with the Lions today, which was
Eagles
kind of a nice change for me.
Eagles were held to 3. They were smoking down the field. They're up 3-0 right now. Brock Purdy at the helm. Culture won the game in the end. We would have folded in years past. I don't disagree. This is what's going on with Ben Johnson's play calling. I think that his plays have been mostly good, but then there's some real stinkers in there.
33 points.
there's
nothing from Amon-Ra St. Brown. How do you think that happened? It's magic?
Yeah.
Like, what do people want from this man? Like, every single play has to go for 20 yards or he's getting cute?
Yeah. Can I just,
man.
On that run by the trickeration play with JMO, I just want to call out how freaking, that's the first time we got to see in game how fast he actually is.
Yeah.
Holy, I mean, and it's look, you got, when you catch the ball, you've got to kind of concentrate and catch the ball. You can't, when it's full speed catching the ball, right? It just doesn't happen.
Well, except Tyreek Hill, and that's why he's going to break Calvin Johnson's record this year.
Okay, fine. But generally no one.
That's one of one.
For him to get the ball on a run play like that, that's just the chance to fire. And like once he turned the corner, it was like I was like,
it was like he was fired out of a gun.
Yeah.
Like Penei Sewell didn't even get to his block on that play. He was going after the safety, and he didn't even get there before JMO was in.
Oh man, that was great. I love that. More, please, more JMO. I like it. Just do your thing.
Yeah,
do your thing. All right, we got
that's
Coach
not how
Campbell.
I thought they'd get a big play out of him today, but
place and win as a prideful team. And they came out and fought, and I love the way we came out early in this game, and and then they made some adjustments, and then we had to make some adjustments, and I was proud of our defense getting 2 takeaways. I thought Sam LaPorta, man, was huge today for us. I thought he was he really made some huge plays. I thought we did a great job taking care of the football. Got 2 takeaways on defense. That's got to be our recipe. And I thought, Goff there at the end, that was a critical pass, and Reynolds on the catch. So just a number of things. Not easy. It's not easy to win. But here we go, man. We got 9 wins with 5 to go.
Speak to the confidence you have in Goff in that offense, in that situation to throw on 3rd and 7, throw on 3rd and 9, and then LaPorta and Reynolds to come up with those big catches too.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's our guy. That's what he does. Line was protecting well today. And LaPorta was, I'll be honest with you, I felt like we were getting some separation now in areas, and LaPorta was really showing up, and there again, like I said, Reynolds, made a heck of a catch there. So look, in the critical moments, our offense finished it out for us.
Managing that lead, getting out early like that, is there any cause for concern about the guys just staying focused, even when playing with an early lead?
No, it's like, man, how often do you just get to come out and it's like, man, bam, within whatever that was, 7 or 8 minutes, you're up 21-0. We had some things that we wanted to do, particularly offensively and defensively for that matter, and we had a good feel of it, and they made some adjustments. And which we thought they would, and so then it comes down to just it's one player here, one player there, we're an inch away from breaking another one. So it's just, man, it was a chess game going on. Look, Diego's he's a good defensive coach now, and those guys played hard. It's a prideful team. So, look, it wasn't ideal. You don't always want it to be that way, but my God, man, to be able to hang in there, and they're able to come back, and we just answer back, and then we're able to close it out. I mean, that's a hell of a win. Now I'm not going to take that away from us.
You came out with 4 straight.
I'll come back to you.
You came out with 4 straight runs, 6 of the first 7 plays on the ground. How intentional was that to kind of reestablish the offensive line after maybe a letdown for most of them last?
It's very intentional. Very intentional. We were our offensive line was going to set the tone for the day. Was the plan, and they did that. They did that, and we were able to hang in there and just, man, we competed. We competed. That's what it's all about. You're in the month of December. Here we go.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm sorry, Hammer.
Oh, just anything on Frank?
Nothing. We won't know. Won't know till tomorrow. I mean, at first coming off, it was sounded like one thing, and then after the fact, it sounded like something maybe a little bit different. So one's was not as good. One sounds more positive. So I won't know till tomorrow.
Which one was more positive?
The first one.
Which one was more the later one? But I don't really, I won't know till tomorrow, honestly, till we are able to do a scan.
Yeah, you've won 6 straight games after coming off a loss. Talk a lot about resilience. Do you think that's the hallmark of this team, and how important is it for you to be able to respond to when you take a loss?
Yeah, I think it's very important. I think that's what this league's all about. I think the teams that are able to respond after you lose a tough one, to me, it's not easy to gain confidence in losses, but I think you have to be able to do that because you understand your own errors, you understand what you have to clean up, and then you don't want to lose that way again, or like that again, or from that again. And so, look, we bounced back. I'm not surprised knowing the guys that we have, the coaches that are in that locker room, the players that we have. I'm not surprised, man. And I would tell you that's some of the best practices we've had all year was what we had the last 3 days. I mean, it was competitive, it was intense, it was fiery. And look, we can't always do that. There's going to be times where we're going to need to, it's going to have to be a walkthrough. We got to start doing things a certain way, but it was good to see them come back and be ready for this game.
I'm sure you guys watched the tape, but what did you think of Bruce? Looks like he gave you a couple plays right at the sack early. I know the penalty late, but some good rushes. Did he? Felt like he gave you something?
Yeah, he felt like he was able to pressure the quarterback. He was able to get an edge a couple of times, and certainly there's something there. I mean, certainly there's something there. He's got something, and like I say, he's been working and he's gotten in better shape over the last 3 weeks, and so I'm anxious to watch the whole thing. I saw from afar kind of what you guys saw, but I wasn't just honed in on him every play either. So we'll see, but it's encouraging. I know that.
So this win is more about the team than anything, but for you to come back here and get a win just after all the time you spent here, what does it mean on a personal level?
Yeah, look, it is special for all of us. All right, just to get the 9. That's the next one, man. These are not easy. But, yeah, it feels good to come back here and, for AG too, to come back to, where we had a lot of success, a lot of winning in the Superdome with a lot of the coaches are still over there and staff and Mickey and those guys, and then a number of the players, man, Cam and AK, Taysom. I mean, I can go down the list, McCoy, Ramchick, all of them. And I got a lot of respect for those guys because I know what they're about, man. I know how they're wired, which is also why it's special to come out with a win because I know how hard they fight and how prideful they are. So it was good to come back. But, man, all I know in the Superdome is winning, and it feels good to win, It feels good to win.
You guys have been creative with the way you use Jameson Williams in the game. Just take me through that play, just his speed and kind of using him in different ways, not just a receiver as well.
Yeah, it was. Well, look, obviously, great call by Ben. Something that's been in the laboratory cooking for a while, and so it felt like it was the right time to call it up. And listen, he executed it great, man. The thing was well blocked. Did a great job keeping his eyes on it, and the rest was up to him. I mean, he's just pure gasoline around the edge. It's a heck of a play. So, yeah, I mean, look, we're like anybody else. We want to find other creative ways to continue to use him. And like I said before, he just continues to grow. He just gets a little bit better every day, and he's working, and it's good, man. It's good. We're in a good place right now.
Do you remember what you said to Ben on the 3rd and 9?
Do I remember what I said to Ben? Why, do you have something that I said?
No.
I thought you were about to call me on it.
I'm just curious if it was just one of those moments where you're like, Ben, let's go win it with the offense. Or
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it. It was, you can go one or two ways, right? And and we went let's go get this first down. You know, that's about it. There was no movie theme here, or, you know, in the smoke. No, yeah, I wanted to go get it, and let's finish the game.
You knew you had to replace Alex. That was going to be a tough challenge this week. We talked about Derek and Jack, but Jalen had a really big role. He had not played much at all this season. Just what did you see in him that led you to put faith in him this week, and how he responded to that faith?
I have a ton of faith in Germ. Everybody does. You know, AG, Shep, myself. It's one of the reasons that, man, I wanted him back with us if we could make that happen. Because he's a core player, he's our captain, he's a productive player, he's smart, he's a team guy, and he's versatile, and he can play defense. And nobody even batted an eye. It was one of the things, hey, man, we're going to lose Alex this week. Well, let's get Germ in on third down and let him cover AK a little bit and do some things for us. And he's a football player, and he's crafty, and we watch him every day in practice, in games. We watch him in one-on-ones, in coverage and rush, and he's a ball guy. He finds a way to get a ball out. And so that was easy for us to do. We have a ton of faith in him.
Last one, Dave. The turnovers, or takeaways, I'm sorry, such a big emphasis for you. You guys got the two. I don't know, how important was it in general? And then some of those
Thank you, Moose.
because of their mistakes. I think that's probably the way turnovers happen a lot in the NFL. So does it matter? I mean, that's a product of your defense, or how do you sort of do it?
Yeah, it's highly important. I mean, it's you know, this was one of the areas that we needed to focus on, taking care of the football. First and foremost, let's take care of it. And we did that. Goff did a great job. I thought our receivers, our backs, man, we were secure with the football. And then, man, we were opportunistic, you know. I know the second one they snapped, but that first one, hey, ricochet and BB comes up with it. Those things happen. And the more you do, the more it becomes contagious. And you start getting a couple more, and but absolutely, that was vital. That was vital to us winning, you know. And we have to be able to do that, and we have to be able to do it. That's got to be our recipe. You got to make teams earn it. You got to get takeaways.
Thanks, guys. Locker room's open.
All right.
That way. Jared, thanks, sir.
All right, there you go. Jared coming.
I thought they said he was doing it in the locker room.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Well,
if he comes on, we'll put him on.
Yeah, that sounds good. Moose, thank you for the super chat. Nothing better than Lions dub and dissecting the game with y'all. Happy holidays to you and yours. Back at you. Happy holidays. Don H comes in with, it feels like it takes a quarter for the offense and the defense to adjust. It takes a full quarter. Tell me it's just the beer, fellas. Ash, do you want to break the news?
Well, they have sucked in the third quarter. I mean, there's I don't know that that's the reason why. You know what I mean? Like, but it's a thing where like it's happened often enough now that maybe looking at whatever their routine is at halftime and kind of mixing it up a little with like anything a little bit different might not be a terrible plan. But like, it's not like teams are fundamentally rewriting their entire defensive and offensive schemes at halftime to deal with what the Lions are doing. Like, it is just a couple little tweaks here and there. Like this halftime adjustments thing. I remember once listening to Peyton Manning talk about that, and he was like, I don't know what fans think we're doing in there. Like, we're in there for 15 minutes. We don't do anything. The halftime adjustments are a myth. They just call slightly different plays. They don't even talk to us. You know, like it's just not a thing.
I got it. Peter, you got to rewatch this. Peter Van Lerhoven. Much respect for Jacobs, yet he never turns his head around to look for the ball. Big play should have been intercepted by him instead of big play for Olave. I want you to go rewatch that because he would have intercepted that ball. He had played that ball perfectly.
Different play.
Yeah, and Branch tipped it. Oh, okay, yeah, tipped it, and then it was
the one in the first quarter.
The one in the first quarter, he was burnt on. Yep, absolutely. But he's what you got. I don't know what you want to do. Like, people like it's point at that thing that can't change. Like, I hate that the sky's blue. If the sky wasn't,
I'm gonna make the same complaint every week, word for word, in the Detroit Lions podcast Slack chat.
It's
word for word.
It's what you got, man. I just like, I was sitting there, I'm watching and hearing him boo Derek Carr every time he comes out and praise Taysom Hill every time he came in. I'm like, I just flashback to that Scott Mitchell interview. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And how much it burned and still burns him.
Mhm.
And that he gave it everything he had still, even though. And it's like,
Yep.
if you're a fan of the team, be a fan of the team. You got the players
Lions
you
fans
got.
did the same thing to Harrington with McMahon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
And
literally,
Batch.
like cheering as a guy goes off with an injury because the backup comes in. You know,
Yeah.
like that's a thing that has happened in our team's past.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
You got just love the team you got because that's all you got. And otherwise, watch hockey. Yeah, hockey.
Oh,
Yeah.
and now that we're
Basketball.
talking about quarterback injuries briefly, that Bruce Irvin hit was probably the dirtiest quarterback hit that has happened this year. Anyone who thinks that's not a penalty is an idiot.
It is. It is a
He
penalty.
literally
All right,
lifted
hold
him
on.
off the ground and planted him into the dirt with his entire weight coming down on that guy's chest.
Just how big of a catch that was. And
That changes
to
things.
trust you in that moment, you have to feel good about that.
Yeah, when there was, 4 or 5 minutes on the clock and we had the 3 and out, we didn't feel good. We felt like we kind of left our defense out there to dry. And they're certainly capable of coming up in big situations. They made a great 4th down stop. And then we knew that when we went back out there, we wanted to finish with the ball in our hands. And we did that. So we converted those 2 big 3rd downs, and it was a good way to end the game.
Just talk about the trust Dan has in this offense to make those throws, yours on 3rd and 7 and Josh's on 3rd and 9. Just a lot of teams will maybe run it there and play a time game, but to have the faith that you guys can make those plays, you got to love playing for a coach and offense.
Yeah, Coach Campbell has a lot of confidence in us. You've seen us go for it on 4th downs a lot in critical situations. We throw the ball when maybe other teams are running the ball. We certainly never question his decisions. He's the boss man. And, he just trusts us a lot, and feels good to have that confidence in him.
It seems like no stage is too big, man. It seems like as the season is going on, your confidence is getting higher and higher and higher. Just talk about what these games do for you, man. Being a rookie, being trusted like that on these stages, in these settings. What does it do for you? You feel like it brings the best out of you?
Yeah, I think it creates a lot of momentum. You go in, each week is certainly a new week, but you feel good about what you've done in the past and the rapport that you've built up with your teammates, with Jared, with the entire offense. So got to keep the momentum going and, keep rolling through December.
When do you know like a performance like this is going to happen? Can you feel it through the week as the game plans being put together, or is it after the first catch? When do you know maybe a special day is on deck?
After?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, plays just come up throughout the game. You never know when you're going to rip off like a 50-yarder. You kind of got to play every play as if you're going to make those big plays and then move on, good play or bad play. So you can acknowledge those things throughout the week, like, hey, that might be a good play for me on Sunday afternoon, but you got to bring it to life.
The 48-yarder in particular,
Mhm.
It seemed like you guys had set them up for that. What did you see, I guess, before that play that made you think maybe it'd be successful?
To be honest, it wasn't a great look for the play. I was like, oh, shoot, we better get this one off. But, I don't know. Sometimes plays like that work out, and sometimes you have great looks, and they don't turn out so well. So credit to our coaching staff. They're so creative every week, and they put a great game plan every week.
Were you on the field during Jameson Williams' run?
Yeah, I was.
What was your role, and what did you see with his speed?
I was kind of on the backside, trying to maintain a block for a long time. So I certainly appreciate J-Mo's speed on that play. He was rolling. All I saw was a flash from out of my left eye, and then next thing you know, on the Jumbotron, I saw him jumping into the end zone. I didn't really see the whole jump thing, but great play. Yeah, me and Jared were looking at you like, holy shit, like that just happened. But you don't see quarterbacks blocking too much. Credit to Jared.
It's got good personality.
At what point do you allow yourselves to reflect on the rookie season you're putting together?
After the season ends, it's you don't want to get caught up in all that. It just kind of muddies your vision and it clouds your vision for the team and the success that we hope to have moving forward.
Sam, why do you think you've made it look a lot easier than most any other rookie that's come into the league and done it at this point? I mean, you just look at your numbers, you're right up there with some of the best that's ever done it for first-year guys.
It's my giant cock.
I think that is.
I don't know. I think I'm surrounded by a lot of great people, great teammates, great coaches, great support with my family and friends. So they tell me to do what I love. I love playing football, and when it's not a chore, it doesn't really feel like a job. You're just out there with your buddies running around, and yeah, it's great that we're having success. It definitely helps. Makes you want to work harder when you're having success and adding value to the team.
Cool. Thanks,
guys. Appreciate it.
All right, there you go. Woo!
That's a smart guy.
He's so likable. So absolutely likable. 15
Unlike
and a half yard
his
average.
box graphics that they were showing today, like first time I saw this, first time he popped up on screen, his like cartoon guy, I was like, oh, his cartoon guy has a free candy van.
Oh man, so let's get in some calls here. We got Jack Campbell played a great game today. Reminds me of what was it? Jack Lambert. A little bit of being that tall. Yeah, man, that's good. Let's see. Let's see about getting some of these calls in here.
That's actually a really good comp for him. I've never made that connection, but like on a historical perspective, that is who he is. Except he's like Jack Lambert if Jack Lambert was like huge.
Yes. Let's see. We'll be with you in 1 second. Could you just talk for one moment for me, pal?
Yeah.
While
Absolutely.
we figure this out just
Folks, it appears we have some technical difficulties going on getting calls in today. So, what am I going to talk about? We got some people complaining about Jerry Jacobs. I'd be lying if I said that Jerry's had the best recent series of games that he's ever had, but if you think that there are not 12 to 15 teams in the league that would rather be starting him than whoever they have right now, you don't watch other teams play football.
Yeah. Hey, caller.
You got our caller?
Yeah, what's your name? How you feeling today after the big win?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing great.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I feel good. I like to be 9-3. I like.
It's better than 3-9.
Yeah. And we've been there. We've actually been there. What do you got for us today, man?
No, just a really close game. I'm calling from South Florida, actually. Diehard Lions fan. Grew up watching Barry Sanders. That's why I'm still rooting for him. A little bit of a nail biter. Offense kind of took a little bit of a slump, but it was nice to see them bounce back and actually, good play calling at the end of the game. So, what are y'all thoughts?
Yeah. Ash, why don't you
I
hit
agree
that?
with all of that. Okay. Yeah. Like that's the thing. People give Ben Johnson grief about his play calling all the time. And like there were periods.
Sorry, we got another.
I'm sure we'd like to even do it a bit more, but
I thought
it was a great job by Ben getting that going early on, and then us feeding off of that from there.
87's pretty good, huh?
87's pretty good. Yes, Sammy can play. Yeah, he's as comfortable as anyone I've played with, and for a rookie, it's pretty tremendous. I mean, I'd compare him like directly to what Saint was doing as a rookie, as far as on the field and off the field, and type of pro he is, and knowing his assignments, and rarely has an MA, rarely does that type of rookie mistake, very rarely, and it's just such a reliable guy, and a guy that I count on in those crunch times, and I know he's a clutch player.
Could you take me through the 2 third-down plays on that last game sealer?
Yeah, I'll back it up to one play before where I had Saint pretty open on the outside, just left it a bit inside. But knew I'd have another chance to kind of make up for that, and we run the next play, which was man coverage, and Sam ran a good crosser route there and put it on him. Great catch. And then the last one was just a play action. I'm not sure, was it third down, a second or third down, just a play action, and it's Saint and Josh. I was kind of thinking, like, if I don't have somebody open, I'm going to take a sack, force the clock to run. So kind of was halfway into taking a sack and saw Josh running open, and was able to make a play.
Curious with Sam, how does a game like that develop? Is that something that you kind of consense as the week is going along in practice that might be a big matchup-driven thing?
It totally just randomly happens. I think him and all of our guys, that can happen at any given week, any given time. And I think on a lot of occasions today, when they were playing man coverage, they were sending a lot of attention to St. Brown. So it's going to leave everyone else one-on-one, and that's where he kind of was able to find his mojo.
Just the Jameson play there.
Yeah, it was awesome.
You guys have had that one kind of in the works and,
Yeah.
and called it. And playing a part there, getting out and blocking too, just how that play developed and great result?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was something we've worked on for quite some time now, and tweaked it here, tweaked it there, messed around with it, and finally got it in the perfect situation, and it scored. Jameson did a good job scoring.
Jared, can you talk about the ability of this team this year to bounce back from losses? You guys have been successful.
Me too, Jared.
I guess like the focus, the mental side, just take me through this week. As you guys
Yeah. Dan talks about it all the time. I mean, within our building, we know what's right and what's wrong, and what we need to get better at, what didn't work, and we don't ride the roller coaster. It's just one game after another, and it's a testament to him and our team of being able to understand when losses happen that what are the points to improve on, and emphasize them, and then typically you get a better result the next time.
You guys, the turnover battle was a crucial focus this week. You guys didn't turn over on offense, took advantage of the two that you got on defense on a short field. Maybe you talked about this, but just
huge. Huge. I mean, the early one was huge. That was the first play of the game for them. Just getting that touchdown quickly there, getting up 21 pretty quickly, and then the fumbled snap they had, huge. Yeah, huge, and we were able to score on them all. And we still, I think, left some yards on the field, left some points on the field in some other ways. But getting those short fields always helps.
And then delivering at the end. I mean, maybe you talked about this already, but those big third down completions there.
Yeah.
In the last drive, the importance of those, and maybe just tying into what Eric said, why this team is succeeds in those sort of moments.
Yeah, I don't. We got a special group. I think that's the best way to put it. Dan talks about it all the time. Like when the pressure goes up, who comes down and is level and is calm, and our guys really are. And certainly, I feel like I've got trust in all our receivers in those moments. And Sam was the guy that we targeted there, and then Josh, and they made great plays. They both made great catches, and I was able to find them.
A couple more guys. Question might be a little
All right, there we go. Let me shut us off. Love to cut off those press conferences, don't they? All right, yeah. So really quick, we got a guy in the asking about the hit about it. I'll disagree with you, Ash, on it being dirty. It's
lifted him off the ground.
No, he didn't lift him.
Yeah, he did.
He went
he did.
through him.
He extended his legs, holding onto him, and cupped him underneath, and came down on top.
He came down on top of him. He went through and down.
Not through and down. Up.
I didn't see up at all. I saw through and down. Now,
happened, my friend.
if he did lift him up, then okay, that's it. It's an illegal play.
Like not
8 years ago, though.
Lifted him up like that.
8 years ago, that wasn't illegal. So I just don't think it's. And I think the part, because I didn't see him lift, so I'm going to stick with he didn't lift him in my argument. And the second he hit him, he's got to let go and start moving off him.
Yeah.
The fact that he held on all the way through his body to the ground,
whether he lifted or not, it's still a penalty.
Yes,
yeah,
100% a
doesn't
penalty.
make it a penalty.
No,
the lift is the
penalty.
reason he's going to get fined $50,000 this week, minimum. For that hit.
And I don't think it was dirty because I didn't think you lifted him. If you lifted him and brought him down, then it's absolutely dirty. Okay, but it's absolutely a penalty whether you lifted him or not. That you cannot.
Like he didn't fireman's carry him and then slap him down on the ground. You know what I mean? I'm not talking that. I'm talking he extended his legs to take them both up a little bit higher into the air and then came down with every bit of weight he had onto his chest.
Yeah. That's the part that's absolutely illegal. You can't do that. So that's that. Whether that or not. So I'm not going to say dirty just because of what I saw. And Ash, he probably saw it better because I'm just not feeling right today. I had a little bit to drink, was up late. Hey, caller, what's your name? How you feeling today?
Oh, this is just your friendly neighborhood maniac on the loose.
Hey, how you doing? They
haven't got you yet. All right. Hey, I don't drink, but I think I started sniffing a little glue there in the third quarter.
Got to do something, man.
But I really hope this game was a wake-up call for the offense so that they realize that they have to kick it into high gear early, step on the gas, and they cannot let up for a second until the game's over. Because, let's face facts, the defense isn't good. They're going to allow a lot of points to the other team. So it's up to the offense to make sure that the defense isn't being asked to do too much. That's what I took from this game, and I hope this kind of wakes up the offense to realize they can't get complacent for a second.
And this is where I don't disagree. This is where some of the play calling, the kind of out
3 straight runs
himself
for second, third down in the red zone.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Yeah.
Never do that again.
Yeah. So I think Ben is a little bit out thinking himself, but yeah. Well, I think so. A couple things. Since Caldwell, this team has needed to put its head down and go until the season's over, whenever that is, and then someone tap them on the shoulder and say, okay, get up, right? Otherwise, just go hard, don't stop. The idea that they lift off the gas, I think that comes a little bit out of the goofiness of the play calling. I don't think the players do that. And we're getting just too inside our own heads, setting ourselves up maybe sometimes instead of setting up the other team. End of the day, we walked away with the W. I think everybody learned a little bit today, coaches, players, the whole thing. Hopefully Rags is okay and it's not a season ender, and he's back next week, because we definitely need him. Colby's going to need he needs a little time in the oven. Man, we're look, okay, so here's the perspective on this is the Detroit Lions are well on the way in the rebuild. And if we look at the hit rate in the draft from Holmes compared to other GMs, we have a big winner on our hands there.
Mm-hmm.
The increase in talent we're going to get in the draft in this offseason is even if we regress a little bit from where we are and we get one less hit or 2 less hits out of the draft, we still improve mightily as a team. And I think this part of the rebuild, where we're at this year, we walk away and my prediction is we win at least one playoff game. Once you get in, anything can happen, but I feel really good about where we are. And waiting to see another year roll up or another 2 years, that's okay.
I'm sorry, Chris.
No, go ahead.
I think that's the thing to remember. Look, it was a win. We won. Probably going to have a home playoff game, which is pretty damn cool. And this team has a great shot at winning a playoff game. So that's all wonderful. So, yeah, got to keep it in perspective. And really, we're Lions fans here. This is going to be a real fun year. If we don't start thinking Super Bowl or bust, this is going to be a hell of a fun year the rest of the way.
Yes.
So,
yes.
I'll leave it at that, boys. You guys keep up the great work, and I'll let you get some more callers in there.
All right. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
That's what people always forget, man. Like 13 out of the 14 teams that get to the playoffs go home losers.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not a bad season. That's still in minimum. Even if you just barely squeaked in, you're in the top half of the league.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And look, look, you always start out saying we're going to win the Super Bowl. You have to say our team is going to win. That's what our goal is this year. But you also know 31 teams don't meet that goal. If 31 teams were failures and shut them down, sell the team, 31 teams would be for sale every freaking year. You just can't.
Exactly.
You got to chill that out.
Super Bowl or bust after you've won 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're thinking like that beforehand, you're just dumb and wrong.
Hey, caller. Speaking of dumb and wrong, no, I don't mean that. I'm just teasing you. What's your name? What do you got for us today?
Hey, this is Travis. I'm out in Clarksville.
Hey, how's it going, Travis?
But before I get into anything about today's game, I want to talk to the audience and let them know that they need to tune in to Ash's fucking podcast. The Daily, he's got it laid out for everybody who wants just the facts. That's where you need to go. That's where you need to tune in. That's where you're going to get informed.
As I was just going down my checklist today, I was like, yep, said that was going to happen. Yep, said that was going to happen. That too, cool. And here we are, we won. But I appreciate that, man. Like,
thanks, Travis. That was
always nice because you never really know if anyone actually likes it because it's always the negative people who are louder, right? You know what I mean? And So thank you.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm getting at. I appreciate you.
That was really kind of you. And you know what, Travis, the fact that you still did that even after I set you up so poorly, I appreciate you, man. That's very kind of you.
Hey.
He's in on the joke if he likes my stuff.
Chris, I've been a sleeper listener since back in the Stafford days. I think episode 32 is when I started tuning in and listening every time. So I've been here for a long time. I've always wanted to make it out to the fucking training camp show and whatnot, but I got life going on and whatnot.
Yeah.
But this channel and whatnot, this podcast is really tuned into what's going on. It's really been a lifeline for me, and thank you, Chris, for everything that you've done for St. Jude's, whatnot. But Goff making plays today, defense is sus. We're gonna have to score points. It's not the end of the road, but we got to build it for next year. But be on for the ride for this year. I'm fucking 6 deep, so I'm sorry. Have a good day, and thank you so much for you guys. I'll let you guys finish out.
You did a good job for being 6 deep, Travis. Thank you, brother. All right, there we go.
6 deep. That's why he likes my show.
Oh man, the 49ers just putting together a little drive here, looking good. They're down at the 10, pushing, knocking on the doors, knocking on the Eagles' back door. 8 minutes left in the second. At this point, they're down 6-0. God, a tie would be fun, but it would screw us, wouldn't it? No,
Yeah.
I mean, it would put us in second, but
It would be better than San Francisco winning.
Yeah.
For the number 2 seed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, who knows where this is all going to end up? Like, Hurts might get hurt next week and they might drop 4 straight games. We don't know.
Please.
So I guess, for seed 1, we want obviously Philadelphia to lose, but to get the 2nd seed, which I think is significantly more likely in a realistic perspective.
Yep.
Like, I would rather play the 49ers at Ford Field than in San Francisco.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because if we get the number 2 seed, that means we don't play in Philadelphia until the championship game, the NFC Championship game, right? So I'm down with that.
Yeah, that's ideal. That's what we want to have happen. What we don't like, the only thing that would be really bad is if we were the 4 seed, like 2-3. Yeah, like home is better than road.
Yeah.
Like two home playoff games would be awesome. Of course, we got to get through the first one. You know what I mean? Because that's the other reason that being the 4 seed would kind of suck, because you get that top tier wild card team, and like, I don't want to play Dallas in the playoffs either, bluntly.
Yeah.
When it comes right down to it, I'd like to avoid that. But Dallas might end up taking out one of the other teams I also don't want to play. Really, I don't want to play any of these teams in the playoffs.
I've got a caller. I'm going to let him go just because he's got a lot of background noise. Sorry, caller. Sounds like he was sitting next to a blast furnace. All right, yeah. Let's.
My air conditioner is 1 foot that way.
No. Yeah, this one, he was like in the steel factory. Give us a call. 248.
So much for this stupid mic.
248-782-8384. 248-782-8384. You can join the show. We'll have you on. We'll talk Lions and talk about the game that we saw, what we saw out there. JMO, love the burners on that guy, man. Whew. It's the speed was
like, it's the reason I was giddy when they drafted him. I don't know if you remember that part of the draft show when they traded up, and I was like, it's one of 2 guys, and it was him or Hamilton, and I would have been on cloud 9 either way, man.
Yeah.
But the fact, like, oh God, he just has that thing that is so unbelievably rare, and that's like terrifying speed to NFL players. You know what I mean? Because they're all fast. Yep. Every single one of these guys runs a 4.6 or better, which is faster than most people have actually like met somebody who can run. You know what I mean? Like your average linebacker speed would have been probably the fastest guy anyone listening right now has ever actually spoken to.
Aleem McNeil. Think about this. He's faster probably than anybody that's watching, listening to this. And we're talking about thousands of people. That's nuts. Aleem McNeil, you look at that man, you realize how fast he is. And then you look at how fast JMO is comparatively. It is nuts. I do want to very quickly toss thoughts and prayers to the chain gang guy out there, man. That leg injury.
Oh, that looked so bad. I'm so glad they didn't show replays of that. Like, we've had people in the chat talking about, like, how come they didn't acknowledge it? And it's probably because, like, okay, let's say you were at work and something happened where your leg bent at a 90-degree angle in the middle of the bone. You want anyone showing you or talking about what's happening as you're laying there screaming in more pain than you've ever been in your entire life? Like, I don't, man.
And I want to just I think about that Florida State quarterback. And by the way, Florida State got hosed. Just so everyone knows, I don't care about Florida State that much, but they got hosed. They won every game. But that quarterback, when his leg was pointed that
Michigan
way,
to play him, man. You just want Michigan to play him and win by 60. That's why they didn't get in, is because that's exactly what would happen.
Quiet. Stop it. Anyway, when Travis's leg was all funky, right? His reaction was like, come on, look, it's jacked. And that was it. My guy, that official, like, I went back and watched it a couple times. And this is like, so it was absolutely horrific, like the injury.
Oh,
right?
God. Yeah.
But
I didn't have to watch it a second time.
This is horrible me. And it's kind of Tom Segura-ish, and I know it. And when he said it, I realized it, and it's kind of bad. When people scream like he was, I laugh. I don't know why. I don't know why. It's horrible. It's horrible. I know the pain he's in. I feel for him, but I can't help. But he was just like, yeah. I don't know why. I think his face is funny in that. It's horrible. I probably deserve something absolutely horrific. Hey, caller, what's your name? How much have you had to drink so far today?
Hey, Chris. Hey, Ash. How are you guys?
Oh, good. We've got a sobriety. Awesome. You already passed the sobriety check. How you doing, brother?
No, I haven't. I've had a few. That we get up 21-0, and
I'm no cop.
Feels pretty good. But then, as you know, things can go.
I'm no cop.
It can go a little bit south. But hey, we hung in there. We got the win. That's all that matters.
That's right.
But no, I want to talk to you guys about. So first of all, poor guy, that cameraman on the sideline. Jesus Christ, that guy's leg got. Oh, that was bad. They lingered on that way too long, the cameraman.
Just
that poor guy's leg. Jeez, it looked bad.
Oh, God.
Prayers up to him, because that looked really bad.
His face, though. I mean, I can't, like, because he was just laying there going,
It was 90. It was like 9. His face was. I started laughing, and then I felt so bad about it, because, geez, his face was so, his foot was 90 degrees the other way. God. I was like, well, he's not an athlete. I hope the guy walks again.
Yeah, exactly. And I just think about the difference between the athletes. Like I was saying, the Florida State quarterback getting his leg 90 degrees, and he's like, shit, come on, right? That guy's just down there going, like, that's
the worst day of his life.
Yep. Well, just think, like, when's the last time any of us have been in half as much pain as every single college or NFL player?
Oh my God, I can't imagine. Yeah, no. Cannot imagine.
Oh man, the poor guy. I hope that's not. Well, the refs are like not full time, but I hope they've got some kind of insurance plan for my guy, because he's going to need a lot of work.
If they don't, I assume that owners would step up something. Yeah, like that's got to get taken care of, you'd think.
Yeah. So, quick question. So what I want to talk about, guys, is the pass rush. Obviously, Bruce Irvin had a nice sack, had that roughing the passer, and again, he hasn't played in the league in like 6 years, so he doesn't know that it's roughing the passer when you land on a quarterback. That's fine. Like, he didn't know that was you're not supposed to do that
games
anymore.
Last year.
But the fact that you're going to get a guy off a practice squad that's 37 years old and he's going to be one of your best pass rushers is a big problem. So are we just saying, hey, we're not going to get anyone, we're not going to be able to do anything until next year? Or are we going to be able to scheme something up where we get a pass rush? Because if Derek Carr finished that game, we would have fucking lost. And luckily Winston is terrible, and he cannot hit a broadside of a barn. He's bad.
And so, he looks insane.
We got to figure out a fucking way to get to the quarterback. So we either need to change the scheme, or we got to find a guy that can do it. And I'm telling you, if it's just a 37-year-old off of someone else's bench, that's our best option, that seems like a big problem.
He wasn't even on someone else's bench, man. He was sitting at home on the couch at 37.
Yeah,
surprised
right?
nobody tried to sign him. You know what I mean? Like that's how bad this is. He came in and he was our best guy.
Yeah.
That's where
So
we're at.
do you think we gotta wait
on-
till next year? Is that or can AG change
There are
the
no
team
solutions.
and give us something that we can get some sort of pass rush? Because we need a pass rush.
We don't
how
have
many-
the defensive
it was
backs.
It was third and more than 10 5 times today, and they converted all of them. That's insane.
Torianzo just said Sue in the chat, and that is the right answer.
Yeah, that's
if there's a
probably it.
guy. If that's the
Too
one.
much.
Particularly
I mean,
with
you can't-
a limb having just gotten hurt.
So it's and this is it. We see him go cover zero, bring the whole house right to rush and not get through. If that doesn't work, there's not a solution. when you overload and you still can't get pressure, you're in trouble. And that's now we're relying on Jerry Jacobs, who's a top 64 safety in the NFL, but you don't want to rely on him to stop the defense. You don't want to put it all on his back or on Cam Sutton's. And I mean, I know people are dogging on Jerry, but PFF has Cam Sutton ranked lower than Jerry on the season this last week. I'm like, I mean, guys, it's you can dog on him and that's fine. It's it is what it is. But if you look at the numbers,
I don't think it's the secondary. I mean,
No.
the defense is doing what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to get them in third and longs. And we've been doing that, but the pass rush just can't get home to finish those off. I mean, if we've got them 3rd and 16, you expect to get them off the field. If they can't do it.
I'm watching Jalen Hurts dancing around for what seems like 30 seconds in the backfield. Oh God, it's that's going to be.
With that said, we're talking about nobody doing anything, but the other sack today was Romeo Okwara.
And you talked about him this week.
A guy who they haven't even really been playing at all. Yeah, I said either him or Charles Harris needs to pick it up or this team is dead in the water. So happily, Romeo did.
Yep. Prison Mike brings it right here. The goal is to win the division this year and contend for the NFC next year. That's where this team is at. And I think absolutely you're right. You're right. And enjoy the ride. Enjoy these wins, man. You know what I mean?
It's awesome. I love the win.
Let's
get some more defensive line help, and we're going all the way. But yeah, guys, hey, it's a win. We're 9-3. I'm happy. Enjoy the rest of Sunday, boys.
All right, you too, my man. Have a good one. All right, here we go.
Yeah, man. Like at the beginning of the year, I thought we were going to get 10 wins this year, and was going to be happy with that. You know what I mean? So we're one away from what I wanted. And weirdly enough, if we do only win one more game for the season, that's how my brain works. I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought would happen. Not, oh my God, the sky is falling.
I'd be, oh my God,
You know
the
what I mean?
sky's falling if we only won one more game.
That wouldn't be great. Like, obviously, I hope they win more than that. Like, I love being wrong that way. When I'm wrong in that direction, that's a happy event.
Yeah.
I don't have to be right.
All right, we got a caller. Let's
Okay
see.
with it.
Hey, caller, what's your name? How much have you had so far?
Hi, this is Ivars, and calling you from Latvia, and I've had a few.
Good for you. What time is it there?
All right.
About midnight?
Time is 12:26 a.m.
There we go. Man, life in Latvia. So what do we got going on today? What are we doing in Latvia?
Talking Lions.
There you go. It's happening at every pub in the country right now. What do you got for us?
I just wanted to say that I was born in 1963, and no team that I've ever seen from the Lions has been this good since I've been alive. We can take that from a record standpoint or however you want to look at it. But all these people saying, woe is me, I mean, look at the history. We're pretty damn good. Comments?
I agree.
Comparatively, absolutely, we are better, and I think for us, it's very much the Campbell trajectory thing. It's whatever this team is there, and I think we've talked about people needing to learn how to win as they talk about this, and I think part of that is there's always going to be things to improve. No team is perfect. If you look at every NFL game this week and the winner, and I don't care how much they win by, an absolute blowout, whatever, you're going to find that there's things to criticize. There's things that aren't right. And it's the nature of a salary cap league and a game that takes 11 players per side. There's always something that could have been done better. So that's, you kind of just, in totality, you look at what's going right and you love it. And you, as a fan, you extol it. And then with what's going wrong, you can talk about it and hope it improves. But some things like, we can't play him at cornerback. Cool. What are you going to do? Because now if you're just saying, the sky is blue, because there's nothing to do. And you can, okay, we get it. We're there. But what are you going to do? So I don't know. It's hard. It's good conversation, but there's always going to be something wrong. And just because there's something wrong doesn't mean the team can't win. We got this guy in the chat. I don't know if I trust this guy. I think it's Heffreisdon or something like that. You win in January by outscoring the opponent more than keeping the opponent from outscoring you. Don't forget that. And that's kind of what we're looking at. And that seems to be how this team is built.
And then in February, the team with the best defense wins that one game.
Yeah. Oh, man.
How about a comment on Ben Johnson deviating from the game plan too early? I mean, he got up 21-zip, and then it seemed like he just took the foot off the gas. I mean, if it's working until they stop you, why not do it? And I guess I'm not understanding. Maybe you have some insight?
I think starting with a short field with 20 yards and 19 yards or whatever makes it a lot easier to score. And then I think Ben got a little bit in his own head about trying to set things up, and he was setting himself up more than the Saints. Go ahead, Ash. Sorry.
And the running game wasn't working. Like David Montgomery averaged barely over 3 yards a carry today.
Yep.
Like that's the thing. It kind of worked sort of a little bit at the beginning and then completely fell apart. And then Ragnow got hurt. So that snowballs that problem entirely. And that's kind of how that goes. Like if you can't run the ball, then you fall behind in the sticks and then it's 3rd and long. And this is not a good 3rd and long team historically. Like they have 2 guys who can win one-on-one battles right now. That's where we're at. Like it's LaPorta or it's St. Brown. And those are kind of shorter pass underneath guys as opposed to like deep ball specialists. Like nobody's going up and making a play on a 50-50 ball for this team. That's just not, they don't have that guy. That's the hole in the receiver group. I think they were kind of hoping Donovan Peoples-Jones would be there. And like he's starting to get in on plays, but they're not going to him in those situations. Like when they were on the goal line going for 2, that was one thing I noticed is up top, there was Donovan Peoples-Jones getting ready, setting up something that's going to happen 3 games from now. but he's not in the rhythm of what they're doing yet. So that's another problem that I don't think they can solve because realistically, like if you load the box up on this team and neither of the outside receivers do anything to stop you from doing that, that's how you beat the Detroit Lions offense is you make the middle of the field look ugly. And I think the book's out on that, and that's where we're at. It's about Ben Johnson figuring out ways to hit other parts.
Okay, and one more question for you. And then I'll get off. Is Aaron Glenn head coaching material? And I'll listen to your answer offline.
All right, thank you. Yes,
I
please.
think he might be a better head coach. Like, I think he might be a better head coach than he is a defensive coordinator, because I think like that problem of like, this is the right solution to beat that thing that guy has is that's kind of the head coach's job, is to come up with that. It's only if the head coach is calling plays on one side of the ball or the other that it's a problem if he gets too much into that mindset, because like he's not supposed to be the guy who knows the wide receivers best on his team. That's the wide receivers coach.
Mm-hmm.
And the offensive coordinator is supposed to take that guy and figure out plays that are going to use what that guy says his guys can do to accomplish the goal that the head coach has. So I think he might be a better big picture guy than he is in his current spot.
And if
that makes any sense at all.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Some guys are good CEOs. Some guys are good store managers.
and we need a store manager, right? And
that's for that role.
So please, yes, I think he'd be a great coach somewhere else.
Yeah, please, anybody hire him. Carolina, no one wants that job. Please take AG.
Yeah. God, I mean,
steal a coordinator from us, please. Please make it that one.
Do you think there's anything they could do to convince Wilkes to come back?
$10 million for 10 years.
I think more than
Nobody says
10 million a year.
100 million. Yeah.
10 million. Okay. I was like,
like the Gruden contract. I think the Gruden contract gets them whoever they want.
Yeah, maybe.
Because like billionaires don't become billionaires by throwing away $100 million. You know what I mean? So in terms of like to get somebody good this year, they're going to have to do that. Otherwise, they're going to have to do what Houston did last year and take like a rehab year where they get a respected coach who like he's not going to be around long term and he knows he's not going to be around long term, but he comes in and basically resets everything like Lovie Smith did for Houston last year, just to get it from the horrible place where they had to hire that random wide receivers coach the year before.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that might be where they are right now, is that everybody looks at that job and goes, there is no way I'm taking that gig, which might be the way that Aaron Glenn gets in the back door, because he's not getting in based on his performance with the Detroit Lions as a defensive coordinator this year.
And who doesn't want Aaron Glenn getting in the back door? All right, give us a ring, 248-782-8384, 248-782-8384. Hey, you got about 15 minutes. We'll go until we don't go. Let's see how
People
it goes.
always comment phrasing. I know what I'm doing.
Oh man. If also we get 2 draft picks if AG is hired as a head coach, 2 comp third
that
rounders.
has nothing to do, sir. How dare you besmirch? That's the main reason I'd like somebody to hire him, is because we get draft picks for it, and also then get the opportunity to be in a position where somebody should really want to be the Detroit Lions defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That will be the hottest job in the NFL if AG vacates it, because then you get to come in and be the guy who took the defense that goes with the offense and got to a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? You can be the Spagnuolo, where you just get dragged kicking and screaming to several head coaching jobs because you did a really awesome thing one time in New York.
Yep. Risden in here, Risden in the chat building his Madden defense. He's like, look, all we need is 3 new starters out of 5 in the secondary, 3 edges, 2 DTs, you know.
Yeah. Honestly, Salo would be a great choice. Don H in the chat just threw that out there. That guy, like, you may not like him as a head coach, you know what I mean? But as a defensive coordinator, the openness to new ideas that he showed in San Francisco, because he was just a straight up like Seattle defense guy. You know what I mean? Like that cover 3 Legion of Boom that everyone was trying to take everywhere. That's the style of defense he came up in, and that was all he knew. And then he stole our wide 9 defensive line coach, and that's what they were running then. And I know a lot of people don't know a whole bunch about schemes, but you could not have 2 more diametrically opposed styles of running the front 7 than those 2 styles. And he basically, over the course of a season, seamlessly switched from one to the other. And most guys don't have the mental capacity or like intelligence about their own players to do that. So like if you told me we could have Dan Campbell and Robert Saleh, I want that team.
Yeah. And you get the cake. You get the cake with Saleh. Hey caller, what's your name? What do you got for us today?
Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
Yeah, my name is Wes. I'm just calling to see what you guys think of the fact that we're 9-3 and we didn't turn the ball over, even though we kind of sucked on D, and I wasn't crazy about the play calling in the second half either. But hey, at least we're winning.
Yes,
definitely did suck on some D. Well, that's our team this year. That is the 2023 Detroit Lions. Is we are not a good defense, we are a good offense, and the key is that the defense be good enough for the offense to win the game.
2 turnovers.
You know what I mean? Like they just need to come up with a few key stops here and there. Like they did a good job at the beginning to let us get to a lead, because this is a team that does need to get to a lead in order to win games. You know what I mean? Like, they're not comeback specialists. If they go down 21-0, like, we're done. We are not that team. You know what I mean? We're two outside receivers being very, very good away from being at that point. So the defense did what it needed to do today. It came out, it got a couple stops at the beginning, let us get up so we could play our game the way we wanted to play it. And then at the end, kind of tightened it up. And of course, that's also, because they broke the quarterback.
Do you guys think that Sue could help us at all if we signed him? Or
Yeah, I think we said earlier he's probably the one guy that's still rolling around out there that could. I like what Irvin brought so far. He brought energy. He brought hustle. I don't like the hit, but now he's going to be even hungrier to make up for that $50K fine that he's going to get. But I'm all in on him. You know what? Pull it. Bring in Sue too. Forget it. We still have some cap space. We can work. You can, as Ash always says, the salary cap is a social construct. They can make something work, but they need to do something. They need to do something to help.
Yeah, I don't think Sue's going to cost you a lot for a couple games anyway, so it won't be that much.
And maybe he wants a chance.
You're probably looking at $1 to $1.5 million a game.
Yeah.
Or he'll just stay home.
Yeah.
And
he might get a chance to beat on Philadelphia. I mean, to be fair, that might be he's the kind of guy that might actually enjoy that. Getting a shot at the team he used to play for last year that didn't win him the Super Bowl they were supposed to.
He would also love to.
Do we know anything about Liam McNeil's injury? Is he hurt bad, or is it? We don't know yet, eh?
Nobody said anything. He said basically it looked like one thing on the field, but then afterwards they were looking at it and it looked like something that wasn't as bad, but he didn't want to get into any specifics about that because they haven't been able to test anything yet.
Yeah. I got message inside, and I think the message I got was before his second piece of information he got. They were just really hoping Ragnow wasn't a season ender. I haven't heard anything on McNeil yet.
Was that on Ragnow?
Yeah. No, it was. He just asked about McNeil, but the one that Campbell was talking about was the first bit.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, for some reason in my head that was about McNeil. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
No,
so we know nothing about. Ignore everything I just said.
I did. So yeah,
anyways, do you think there's anything we could do to improve the pass rush? I mean, obviously we can sign guys off their coaches, but other than that, the scheme wise, do you think there's anything we could do?
I think that's all we have is scheme. I think that's all we have is the ability to scheme something because we are stuck with the talent we got. I don't know what it is.
Here's the thing. But we're not running, there were a lot of bends and twists and stunts that they were running kind of in the middle of last year as they were getting the defense figured out. They started doing more of that stuff. And that's why John Kaminsky's still here, is because he was so useful on that. They're not doing any of that right now. Like almost never. And I think that's the one thing that they haven't really looked at too much that could fix things.
Maybe we could send some defensive backs some blitz because they don't seem to be able to cover anybody anyways. What do we got to lose?
Every time they do that, there's a deep connection. So
true.
That's the thing. Our defensive backs are literally they are terrible blitzers. That's one and all.
Yeah.
They do an absolutely abysmal job. They do not sell out to get to the quarterback. They basically run into a blocker. That's what our DBs do when they blitz. And that's Branch. That's Tracy. That's everybody this year. I do not know what's going on with the coaching of how to deal with blockers, but it seems to be slow down a whole bunch and try to juke them out. And by the time you do that, the ball's out. So you might as well have not even sent the guy.
Is it true that Campbell lost the green dot after the beginning of that game, or?
AG said before the game that they were going to swap it out.
To me, he wasn't calling the plays later in the game.
Yeah, they were going to swap it out, and I think it caused some problems because early in the game, I think it was the third play of the game, somewhere on there, Barnes had it. And he was like, I don't hear shit. I can't hear what's going on. And I was like, oh, F, they don't have a play. And then I don't know if it was a fumble or an interception. Something happened on that play that I was like, don't ever call the plays again. No one listen to Aaron Glenn.
Was that the one where AG called the wide receiver decides to not catch the perfect pass and Branch picks it off one-handed play? Because he's called that twice this year.
That's a good play. He should really call that more. Yep. That would be helpful. That up more. Yeah. But Dr. Jimmy Leal, I just want really quick. He's got something out on Aleem, right leg, third quarter. Likely, a knee or lower thigh contusion. Returned with a soft brace, but it was aggravated in the fourth. Lots of ice tonight, should be fine. And then Ragnow, he said, video is benign, but missed the rest of the game, which is worrisome. Post-game reports suggest he likely dodged a major injury, ACL, PCL. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yep.
Poor guys.
All right. Well, I'll let you guys go then. You guys give somebody else a chance. All right. Thanks for taking my call. Bye.
All right, brother. Have a good one. Look at that. We have the most considerate listeners.
We really do.
And here I am laughing at the poor official with a 90-degree break in his leg, and we've got these guys who are so kind and wonderful. I don't know. Maybe I am their channel for terribleness. Charles Harris thought he would be good. Yeah, he had his flash and disappear, I guess. That's kind of where that was.
He had his flash.
Hey, caller.
Yeah, that's...
go ahead. Go ahead, Ash.
Hey, this is.
Oh, go ahead, caller.
Hey, this is Luke from Toledo. I have been a listener since 2015. Listened to probably about 90% of your podcast. I still miss around the division drop. Just wanted to say we all would have loved some more help with the defensive end, but we got to trust Brad because we went from a below average defense to a just an okay defense. I just wanted to see what your guys' thoughts on how to fix that next year.
Draft some people and sign some people. I really very much doubt that they're going to go after somebody who costs like $25 million a year as a free agent. That just doesn't seem like the Brad Holmes way to do this. If they do go for a name, it'll probably be a pass rusher. That's my belief on that one, because this draft it does have some pass rush talent, but it doesn't have a lot of fix the problem next year kind of pass rush talent, and we're not drafting high enough to get that if it exists anyway. So I mean, they're going to sign some guys, like if nothing else for competition, because you sign the guys before you know that you're going to who you can draft, basically. So you're going to probably see a lot of things kind of like the Mosley signing, if that makes sense, where it's somebody who, look for guys who were kind of playing well and then got hurt. And that's why their price tag is kind of low, and they're just looking for an opportunity to come in and maybe not get hurt and play 16 games, 17 games, and rebuild it so they can go in and make a whole bunch of money the year after, or sign here, either way. Because that is a thing that the Lions do, is when someone comes in on a 1 year, show me deal, and they show us, they get a contract. Sometimes to the Lions' detriment, like in the case of Charles Harris and Romeo Okwara, who are right now, Okwara got a sack today, but I think that might be his second of the year for a salary cap hit. Actually, he took a pay cut. I don't remember what his hit actually is right now, but when you're paying $4 million a sack for two guys on your roster, and those guys are not getting 10 or 11 of them, that's kind of problematic,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So what are the chances of us getting Max Crosby next year?
0. Not even going to pull a punch on that. All of the names that you really, really, really want aren't going to be available. That's just a fact of free agency. Those guys get tagged. Those guys get signed and traded, like tag and trade. It's the really, really good players don't make it to free agency because teams know they can get something for them. And that's the thing, is you're dealing with a bunch of billionaires. They know that if you have an asset that's worth something, you don't just give it away.
Yep. So bargain deals in free agency.
Yeah. If there's a guy who gets like 12 to 16 million a year and is a 8 or 9 sack guy a year, I would have, prior to Sweat having a whole bunch of sacks this season before the trade deadline, that would have been my poster boy for the Brad Holmes free agent contract guy, because it's, between 7 and 9 sacks a year as the other guy pass rush, literally exactly what we need, went to the Chicago Bears. But that doesn't mean I think we should have spent a second round pick on him and then also paid him $25 million a year. You know what I mean? But if he hadn't had the year that made him worth that this year, that's a guy, that kind of guy is the sort of thing I think they'd probably do on the other edge. And at corner, I suspect it'll be Sutton-ish things again, because again, Jerry Jacobs is not that bad. So they'll bring in somebody to compete with him, most likely. And I think a sneaky spot where they might end up bringing another guy in is safety, because I don't know that C.J. Gardner-Johnson is going to be back, and Tracy will be on the last year of his deal. And Tracy hasn't been great this year, and he has a $12 million cap hit next year, which only 5 of that they can get out of, but that's still a really big cap hit for like a okay safety. So that's kind of where they're at. Like, I don't think they'll cut him, because you don't get better by cutting players who should be playing in the league.
Right.
You know, we're not where we used to be. Like, that would be the Quinian thing, would be to cut Tracy Walker and then sign a guy who's worse,
half as good,
for more money.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is why great players don't hit free agency like that. Or it's very, very
exactly
rare, right? You just don't cut those kind of guys or lose those kind of guys.
All right.
All right.
Well,
Oh, go ahead.
thank you, Ash. I always know what you mean. Chris, thanks for all these years. You're an awesome host.
Thank you, man.
We need Case back for a guest spot.
He was back at the
used to
St.
say-
Jude.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Go. I'll have to put that up. I have to put that one up. Go ahead, Ash. I'm
I
sorry.
used to say, you know what I'm saying, all the time, and that just kind of became a thing. So apparently I switched it at some point. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm a teacher and I'm talking to 15-year-olds, and I need verbal confirmation from them that they have understood what I've said.
Huh? All right.
And I think a lot of Lions fans need verbal confirmation that they heard what you said.
Yeah.
You know, with that, you guys have a great evening.
Thank you, brother. They're dying for visual
Someone who has to
confirmation
talk
right
to
now.
Lion fans all the time, I guarantee not most, some of them don't.
Hey, caller, what's your name? How much have you had to drink?
Hey, good afternoon from the Ozarks.
Hey, Brennan, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good now.
Yeah,
not so much during that game. My goodness,
it was a sweaty one, man. It was a good one to kind of just sit back alone, quietly in the room and just watch. Right? That wasn't a game to be having a bunch of friends over for. That's
that's and the quiet in the room is always just destroyed by what that.
So we got the Niners up 14-6 at the half, which is everything we don't want.
Yep.
It's not everything we don't want, but maybe it's the beginning of the end for the Eagles.
Well, you never know. You still got a few games left, but I'm checking out the Browns and Rams game, and it's even up with 2 minutes to go at 10. So here's a few things I've got. And I'm getting a little bit of chatter back, so I'll just go ahead and go through what I have here. You guys have been talking about cornerbacks. I wonder if they just simply re-sign, CG and E-Man, be done with it. I mean, they lost both those guys, and they were supposed to be on the field for starters anyway. So that's two. As far as an edge is concerned, I can see them getting 2 new guys, one in the draft and one in free agency, maybe an unheralded one that does real good according to Brad Holmes and his analytics.
That'd be nice.
The defense needs something because they gave up 3rd and long 5 times. I mean, really? 3rd and double digits, 3rd and 17, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 18, 3rd and this, 3rd and that. and Bruce Irvin's penalty was one where they gave up the pass to Olave right there practically on the 1 yard line.
Yep.
And then the positive is, though, the defense did come up with turnovers, not just a fumble, but a turnover on downs to me is a turnover, just like a interception or a fumble, because you still got the ball back regardless.
Yep.
So I always look at it that way. The Vikings are off, so we gained a half a game. And if we do wind up with the 2 seed, that would be really good, because then we're facing either the Vikes, Rams, or Green Bay coming to our house. And then we would maybe get the San Francisco at home rather than the other way around. So that's what we really want. And by the way, You know, I've always been talking about the great running back duo we had there with Billy Sims and Dexter Bussey.
Yep.
Well, these two guys passed them.
Oh, in 12 games.
They had that stat earlier in the game. They said they have now crossed the threshold to the point where they're tied with the duo of whoever it was back in the 30s. I mean, are you kidding me? That's all they ever did was run the ball.
Yeah.
So,
and they did it, but they did it in 12 games too, which is it's not because a lot of this like they were putting Keith Jackson and LaPorta's stats up there, and there's like, yeah, LaPorta's on track to do like 5 more or 4 more than Keith Jackson did as a tight end. I'm like, yes, in how many more games, right? I mean, that's the it's kind of tough. I mean, and I guess stat inflation is fun because then you can say I broke records, but still,
that's
this
part
one
of why they do it.
Yeah, this one is really good because they're doing it in 12 games. So that's credit to show just how good Gibbs and Monty are.
Okay, next 2 games. The next 2 games, I'll go ahead and get out of here. At Chicago, let's sweep them, and then we have Denver coming in, and we will sweep the AFC West. So 2 divisions we would have swept. So let's go, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you there. All right.
I like the cut of that man's jib.
Yeah. Brandon, hit one more here. Hey, caller, what's your name and what do you got for us today?
This is Jack from 7 Mile. I went to my first Lions game probably back in like 1972, third deck at Tiger Stadium, drinking hot cocoa with my dad. Then we go to the Lindell AC afterward. And if you are a Lions fan and you're not excited about this season, there's something really wrong because we've only been out of 1 game this whole year. Campbell inherited a team that was underwater with the salary cap, no talent. And they've got one of the best offenses in football. And they've rebuilt the roster so fast. It's like, how can you not just enjoy this?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm gonna point right to one thing today that people need to do to help enjoy that, and that's that JMO play. And I want you to watch it at full speed and watch. He's still in the backfield, but when he makes the turn upfield, just how fast he accelerates and just how fast he winds up going. My guy is shot out of a cannon there. It's incredible, man. I mean, he just have you ever been on those roller coasters that don't like go with a chain up the thing where they're like the electromagnet launches you up? It's like instantly at full speed. That's what he was like.
Coaster.
Yeah. It's just like boom, like holy crazy. Just go watch that, man.
Yeah.
That'll make you a happy.
There are 31 defensive coordinators scared to death of facing the Lions every week because they've got more weapons than any other team in the NFL on offense.
Yep.
And you can't build offense and defense at the same time and have them both be excellent within 3 years. It's just not going to happen. So we fill the holes, we do the best we can, and just root the guys on to make plays and just have a great run. And our window's just opening in Philadelphia and San Francisco. They're closing with their salary cap and their big contracts. So we're just getting there, man.
Yeah. We've got if Holmes keeps this up the way he and Dinsner are running this team, I don't see what closes the window if they just stay this course.
That's why you do the draft and develop method. Is because if you just keep drafting and developing, the window never closes. And that's why the Patriots were always so good, is because they would because you're going to hemorrhage free agents at some point. You know what I mean? You can't keep everybody if you keep having this level of success in the draft. So you have to just keep doing it.
Hawkinson's a prime example of that draft, develop, move on. Hawkinson is a prime example. Look, we got LaPorta. And does anybody miss Hawkinson right now?
Absolutely not.
I don't, right? And that's the model. There's a couple of key players you're going to have to keep and lock onto, like a quarterback. Those guys are effectively irreplaceable. You're really lucky to get another one, right? See, the Saints got 3 of them, and none of them are that good.
Yeah.
I just.
And ultimately,
go ahead, man.
It's going to be a team where you're going to have vets who are 6, 7, 8 years They get released, and they're going to take a lower contract at a shot at a ring with the Lions. We're going to be able to fill these voids. You watch, we're going to get some big defensive help in the offseason with guys that want to go win a ring.
And
that's what we're set up for.
The one piece that remains to be seen for this formula to really work is it's great when you have the second overall pick in the draft. What are you going to do with number 32? What are you going to do with number 28?
LaPorta.
What are you going to do with another, right? I mean, it's how do you build the team with now these later picks? And can you still do it? Now, what we've seen in the lower rounds of the draft, seems like we probably can. Seems like Holmes can find the guys, but you're not going to be getting that blue chip, top tier, top 10 guys, talents that come out. So you have to work with a little bit something different.
Well, that's the thing. They've hit on the guys that they've drafted in that range, though. So if they just keep those blue chip guys and build a team around that, maybe get lucky. Because, I mean, if you look at the top 10 sack guys in the league, a lot of them were first rounders. They weren't all top 10 picks. You know, like 6 out of 10 last time I looked were first round guys. But a lot of them were the back half of the first round. And then there's second round, third round, fifth round guys in there. You know what I mean? So, like, if you get a few of those hits as well as just only getting a Sam LaPorta when you draft 32nd.
Yeah,
You're
and
gonna
depth
be
is
okay.
what keeps you going throughout the season. You know, you don't need 22 Pro Bowlers to win a Super Bowl. You need a handful of those guys and a bunch of other guys that just do their job every week. And Holmes seems to be able to find those guys, and they can actually develop them for the first time. That's a huge difference for the Lions. They're actually developing talent rather than wasting it.
Yeah. I forgot tight ends were allowed to run after the catch until we got LaPorta.
Or break tackles.
Yeah.
Like, what is this madness? Who does this?
I thought they just
none of our
caught
first
and
round
fell.
guys have had this capacity.
Catch and fall. That's the MO there. But, huh.
Or don't catch it.
Yeah, we probably got 9 guys on rookie contracts within their first 3 years that would start pretty much every team in the NFL. Think about that. That's going to be our core moving forward.
Yep.
Anyways, you guys, just thank you for having such rational, logical takes. It's the greatest show about the Lions because everybody else is just, we got to do this and we got to do that. And why didn't Holmes? You guys like, guys, take a look at the big picture, man. This isn't fantasy football. It's the real world.
Yep.
So thanks. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate that. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks for calling.
I've been told that
take
I'm
care.
a condescending jerk for taking that stance.
Well, it's not the stance, Ash. Actually,
It's that I'm a condescending jerk. Okay.
All right. Well,
Good enough.
Thank you for saying that for me.
Dude, I gotta go.
Yeah, yep. We're going to wrap this up right now. Don't forget about us on Patreon, patreon.com/Detroit Lions podcast. Access to the Slack if you donate as little as $5 a month to that Patreon, patreon.com/Detroit Lions podcast. Also, follow us on Twitter at DET Lions podcast, DET Lions podcast. It's where, Ash and me and everyone else cool hangs out pants free. Follow us on Skype or give us a call on Skype, Detroit Lions podcast, all one word, or use that Lions line 248-782-8384, 248 Rub You Fug. Also, be sure to go to Detroit Lions Podcast, subscribe to the podcast because we pop into your ear holes automatically that way. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, all those things. We appreciate you folks when you do that. I forgot to ask you folks to do that. Please hit those things and do those things. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to see you next time on the Detroit Lions Podcast. Remember, no pants, no toasters, no hot tubs, and no problem because we are your Detroit Lions and Reddit Connection.